Welcome to another episode of Haunted 21, the home of paranormal activity. We are coming to the end of this 5-part series, but do not fear, as we have more real-life hauntings. As always, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for supporting this show. It really does mean a lot, so thank you. You can find me on all social media platforms at _haunted21. Lady of the Night. The haunting of number 21 started to affect all the family. We lived in constant fear, anticipating the next paranormal event. What started out as banging, smells, and whispers has now turned into something malevolent, something I only thought existed in the movies. Whatever it is, it's now become physical. Opening doors, moving things, and attacking my younger brother. We'll come to that in another episode. With everything happening without explanation, Mum and Dad decided to get the house blessed. As the priest entered the house, he sensed danger and refused to go upstairs, stating he couldn't help us. Desperate to understand the house's history, Mum decided to talk with the neighbors. They told a story about how the previous occupant, Mrs. Bates, an elderly lady, had fallen downstairs and wasn't discovered for weeks. Maybe now we finally have the answers we were looking for. But wait. There's more. Our lovely neighbor also decided to tell us something else. 2 months before the death of Mrs. Bates, a priest visited the house, as he quite often did, as Mrs. Bates was a very religious lady. Over a cup of your finest Yorkshire tea and a slice of Battenberg cake, the priest choked to death, dying of asphyxiation. I remember thinking, would a lovely old lady and a man of the cloth really haunt us with such evil? Maybe they would. That evening, armed with this insightful information, I remember the family sitting in the living room discussing what to do next. The priest wouldn't help us, and whatever this thing was, it showed no sign of stopping. Just as we mentioned the name Bates, the dog started to bark and growl, showing all his teeth. It was like he'd seen something we couldn't. He cowered, whimpering, and retreated to the kitchen. We didn't need a smart arse to tell us why, but Dad did say he'd seen a ghost. Well done for stating the obvious. That night I was laid in bed talking with my brother when somebody or something whispered into my ear. "Did you just hear that?" I said to my brother. "No," he replied. Not wanting to make the situation worse, I dismissed it. We both said our goodnights and fell asleep. It was about 3 a.m. when I woke up for no reason. I didn't need the toilet. And I didn't need a drink either. The room was pitch black, but the atmosphere was wrong. I was being watched. I sat up scanning the bedroom, but it was too dark. I was scared. I tried to wake my brother. He never woke up. Petrified, I laid down, but as my head hit the pillow, there she was, at the foot of my bed, watching over me. A full apparition of an elderly lady. I could see the whole outline of her body. It was as though she were in physical form, her hair rolled up in a 1940s style. Not wanting to make friends, I quickly put my head under the covers. I laid there shaking, not wanting to pull the covers back to check if she was still there. I fell asleep. I was absolutely petrified. To this day, she is still as vivid as the day I seen her. I have so many unanswered questions, and I really want to understand the history of the house. Follow me on Facebook at _haunted21, where I will share any information I find. This isn't over. Thank you for listening, and if you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe and leave me a review, as it really helps the podcast grow. Until next time, stay safe and sleep well.